With CS2 here, there's some massive investment opportunities, specifically with cases. Now the first area I want to talk about are the discontinued cases. Now I'm mainly going to be focusing in on the Riptide, the Broken Fang, and the Shattered Web. These are the only three that are actually a viable investment, and when we're talking about these ones specifically, I think they are, relatively speaking, okay investments. The problem with these ones is they're just way too expensive. You're looking at a price point of $5 to $6 for a case, and honestly, I think you can get a lot better value later on inside of today's video. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins, with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options, and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Another popular area is those active duty cases. Now the active duty cases have been on an absolute tear, up almost 50% for the Dreams and Nightmares, and the Revolution is not too far off of it. Now this is actually an okay thing for one of the cases we're going to talk about later down the line. However, talking about the active duty cases right now, I think there's zero reason to invest into them. The reason these prices are so inflated is because if you look at unboxing numbers, people are definitely choosing to open up a lot of these active duty cases. This is leading the price of these to go up quite significantly. Now looking at the brand new drop system for cases, in my opinion, is probably not going to have any actual impact on the overall amount of cases out there, relatively speaking. Your odds of getting a case appear to be about 99%, and when we look at the demand, that's the one that really fluctuates a lot more than the actual supply. Now the first group of cases I want to talk about are the cheaper rare cases. These are all these cases right here that are about $1 or less and are in the rare drop pool. Now for these ones, there's definitely a couple I'm going to pick out, but when we're talking about this area generally speaking, these are ones you're going to be holding for a longer period of time because they're going to be seeing more growth over an extended period, because right now they probably have a, relatively speaking, higher supply. Now the first one that's definitely on my list is going to be the Danger Zone case. Danger Zone is in a very prime position. That's because of a couple different things. First of all, if we want to look at the competition of the Horizon case, the Horizon case is not really comparable to the Danger Zone case in terms of unboxing numbers. Danger Zone absolutely dominates the Horizon case, and when it comes to the overall demand we see for these cases, it's the exact same story. Danger Zone is constantly at the top of the market of being one of the most bought off the market, and the Horizon is usually not even close to the top. The Horizon is almost thought of as a little bit more of an older case at this point, where the Danger Zone is definitely still in its prime. Talking about the supply of Danger Zone cases out there, it's definitely on the larger side. However, that's working to our advantage here as we're able to get it for a decent price point, and honestly speaking, there's a lot of cases out there that we're going to be investing into that are going to have a large supply, and that's why they're so cheap. Now the second case up on my list has to be the Prisma 2 case. It's in such a strong position for a couple different reasons. First of all, it's absolutely decimating the Prisma 1 case when it comes to unboxing numbers, making up about 67% of the total unboxings for these two cases over a longer period of time. Combine that with the fact that now we're seeing a supply relatively similar for both these cases, and I think the Prisma 2 is in a very strong position. I think the Prisma 1 is definitely a decent investment, but I will say if you're looking at a similar price range for both of these, the Prisma 2 might be the option to go for. It's got a very strong future ahead of it, and the best part about the Prisma 2 and the Prisma 1 case has to be those knives. It's got a very unique set of knives with your Talon Dopplers, and these are definitely going to become more desirable as time progresses. In my opinion, I see the Prisma cases on a very long-term path to becoming something like the Spectrums, the Gammas, or the Chromas. They're going to get to that price eventually, but it's going to take a significant amount of time, which is why right now is probably a good area to start looking into. Now the last cheaper rare case I would look at is the Clutch case. Clutch case is in a very advantageous position talking long-term. Look at the Revolution case right here. You can see it's up quite significantly, and that's really good for the Clutch case because that means more demand is probably going to shift over to the Clutch case, at least in the short term here. We can look at the longer period though. We know the Clutch case is the most unboxed rare case out there, and it was for most of 2022 as well, being the absolute most unboxed case. This is very important because we know the demand for the Clutch case is there right now, and it's going to be there in the future. However, the reason the Clutch case is still so cheap is because of the absolute massive supply that it has around it. I don't think this one is necessarily going to pop off overnight and start shooting up in price, but when we're talking about a longer period of time, it's eventually going to get there, especially with the almost 2 million cases that get unboxed from it every month. Talking about what I would consider to be the great cases, these ones are definitely going to be more expensive. However, they're a lot better in terms of overall cases. They've got a lower supply, they've got a decent amount of demand, and they're going to be a much safer option compared to some of those cheaper rare cases. They're less volatile, but that also means they're going to be returning a little bit less over a longer period of time. Now talking about what I believe is the best great case, it's definitely going to be the Revolver. The Revolver is on such a strong trajectory out of everything we've talked about on this list for a couple different reasons. First First of all, it's the cheapest option for your rare OG knives. However, it doesn't stop there. The supply of the revolver case is rather low compared to the amount of demand. The revolver case is in a very optimal position moving forward just because of these aspects alone, but it gets even better. The revolver case is one that gets almost all of the hype when people are coming into the game. Plus, the revolver case was the only case in the entire market to recover faster than anything else when it came to the little pullback we saw in the past July. The revolver case is in such a strong position because the unboxing demand, the investor demand of it, and the overall demand we see when it comes to everything the revolver case can offer. Now, talking rapid fire for some of these great cases as well, the chromas are definitely going to be up on that list. The chromas have become very desirable, especially the way knives look inside of CS2. I don't think this is an area you should be overlooking at all. The gammas are also going to be falling under this category. They're a decent case with a decent return over the longer period of time, and I don't really expect anything to change on that front. And then you get your Spectrum, specifically the Spectrum 2 over the other one, but I think the Spectrum 2 is in a decent position just because the demand is constantly there for all of these cases and the Spectrum 2 included. When we're talking over the next 6 months, I expect a lot of these cases to have a slow and constant increase, which is exactly what you're going to be looking for when we're talking about the great cases. Now, I would highly suggest you probably go with the cheaper option out of all of these ones, just like the Chroma 3, the Spectrum 2, or the Gamma 2, just because these ones are definitely going to be a little bit easier to move up in price. Now, talking about what specifically I would avoid at this point, if we're looking mainly on growth, I don't think the breakout case is honestly in our future. The breakout case is a very strong case, but the truth is it's gotten to the point where it's $7 a piece. You're not going to be making a heck of a lot of ROI on a case that costs you $7 to begin with when you could have gotten 7 to 10 of a cheaper case that's still in an okay position. Otherwise, I don't think any case actually over $5 is probably going to be worth your interest most likely. Discontinued cases, a little bit of a different story, and obviously you can find the one that speaks to you the most, but generally speaking, these cases are just way too expensive. There's a reason why we're not investing into them, and that's because the ROI is just not able to be formed at that level because it takes so much value for them to double in price and for us to double our money. Now, which case is the best? If we're talking about the cheaper rare cases, I think the Prisma 2 or the Danger Zone are good alternatives. The Clutch case is definitely there, but it's just got a little bit too high of a supply to compete with the Danger Zone and the Prisma 2 at a similar price point. Both of these cases have strong unboxing demand and a lower supply, which over time has proven to be one of the more influential factors in a case's success. Talking about those mid-tier cases, I personally would go with the Revolver just because it's a little bit on the cheaper end of these ones, but you can definitely go whichever way you want. I think all of these cases are probably going to end up seeing somewhat similar growth over a longer period of time. Now, obviously, you can't guarantee you're going to turn a profit, but there's a couple things you can do to help you out. First of which is you should be investing into items that you want and not because I want them. And second of all, you should be looking at unboxing numbers or any resources out there to help you make the best decision of finding the best case for you personally. But that's all I got. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.